Hello, this is Carter Machiavelli here again. As already foreshadowed in my posts in my YouTube profile, I'm going to make a quick little video about the McDonald's CEO situation. And the reason for that is I initially didn't want to make a video since this went completely viral and everyone is reporting on how McDonald's CEO hates the burgers of McDonald's and how he looks disgusted, etc., etc. So a vast number of slop community video makers have reported on this topic, and they're all saying the same thing. He looks disgusted. He hates his own food. But the reason I'm still making this video is mainly I'm trying to make this channel about a sort of individuality, so adding something, touching topics that have not yet been discussed before. And one of the things, basically the thing that hasn't been discussed before regarding the McDonald's CEO topic is a psychological question. So what exactly makes him hate the food so much that he basically almost spits it out, almost always spits it out, or you never see him swallow it, or that it comes across as retardedly fake compared to like other CEOs, like for example from Burger King or Wendy's or whatever the fuck, who have started mocking this guy by eating large chunks of bites from the food that they own in order to one-up Mog, the McDonald's CEO, Chris Kempczinski or something like that. And so, in order to support my arguments, I'm going to use 4 sources for that. As you may have noticed, I still have a new phone and I was too lazy yet to install a video editing software, so just take notes with pen and paper or whatever the fuck, open a new tab, which isn't Pornhub, and write down the notes, the sources I'm going to present. So there are 3 videos I'm referencing, all uploaded by the McDonald's Corporation, McDonald's Corp username on YouTube, I think. First of all, it's the video I also posted a screenshot of on YouTube, under the YouTube post section. It's the video where he tried the quarter pounder with cheese. It's called McDonald's CEO quarter pounder with cheese. I'm also referencing a video, I think, where he tried the McRib. I'm not sure about that. But the third video I'm referencing is, of course, is the McDonald's CEO morning routine. So just type it into YouTube and you will see that he uploaded a morning routine video, which is... nobody believes it. So basically his morning routine is going out jogging, going to the McDonald's headquarters and buying an egg McMuffin for breakfast. No one believes that, and it's really... this guy is just stupidly bad at lying. It's ridiculous. Now, the 4th source that I'm referencing here is basically his Wikipedia article, because we're going to take a little deep dive into his personal life. And so the main question that has to be asked is, why exactly doesn't he like his own food? Doesn't he like the food he manages? And you could, many theories assume that he's extremely snobby, so that instead of eating McDonald's, he just spits it out and goes to a 5-star restaurant. And it's basically, so the implication of these YouTube comments from other people is that this is status motivated. So he doesn't eat the McDonald's food because it implies it's low status, it's for poor people, it's shit quality food, which, okay, yeah, it might be. and that it's not on his level of societal worth. And the second theory is basically that it does taste bad. So the people imply that maybe this is not to his standards of taste. Maybe his taste buds are really sensibilized for really high quality Michelin star restaurant food. And the third hypothesis is that the McDonald's CEO actually believes that his food is actually poison. And so I'm pretty sure, even though I am not diagnosing anybody, this is just my personal opinion. But wait, I'm not a licensed psychotherapist, so I can just diagnose whoever the fuck I want, and no one can take my license away. Fuck you, government. Anyways, now the thing is, the first hypothesis of people that it's too low status for him, that McDonald's food is not worthy of his status, implies a sort of narcissism. And so I would personally disagree with that, since if you watch all of the 3 videos I mentioned, especially also the one like he uploaded recently, which caused a shitstorm, you will see that this person, this CEO, is not necessarily really dressed in a way that implies a huge status or implies a lot of money. So he tries to dress rather normal, rather usual. So basically, he dresses in a nice way. So he has some kind of button shirt on him and some kind of vest sometimes. He dresses in a well-mannered way. But you can't see any brands or any really expensive watches or anything like that on him, because he doesn't seem to value presenting his status in the public that much. And so I would also say that this is not his main motivation. So ego, if we take a look at the MICE theory, money, ideology, coercion, and ego, which is in applied psychology a model of motivation to convince someone to do something, or which describes actions, ego is probably not really his main motivation. So the second thing is that the food tastes bad. This is the second hypothesis that people make. And I would also disagree with that, since objectively, I don't really think that the CEO by McDonald's is disgusted by the food itself. Otherwise, you would strongly see it much more in his face. Now, McDonald's is a shit quality food that is designed by different kind of taste chemicals to taste actually good for the majority of people. And so even Gordon Ramsay says, who is a Michelin star chef at this point, says that he actually likes McDonald's or he likes Wendy's, I don't know, but he likes eating fast food burgers sometimes. And so that is a clear sign that it's not actually, probably, very likely, not the taste, not the objective taste that makes him disgusted. Now, there has to be at least something in the repertoire which actually tastes good for him, and also he has to try some of the products just to see if the taste goes well and is harmonic. So I'm pretty sure it's not the taste that disgusts him. And now the third hypothesis that YouTube commenters assume is that he knows that the burgers are poison, and that's in fact the hypothesis I would agree with him the most. And so another argument, of course, is that the other CEOs of burger companies like Burger King, Wendy's, etc., they are also millionaires. They might also be snobs who eat at 5-star restaurants. We don't know anything about their private life. But for whatever reason, these other millionaires, they have no problem, obviously no problem, taking a big bite out of the new Whopper or some other kind of trash burger just to prove a point. And they have no problem swallowing it. So that might actually be the reason. And here comes the main point. If you check the Wikipedia page of Chris Kempczynski, if that's even his name, I don't know, you will see that he is the son of his mother is a teacher and his father is a professor for vascular surgery. And on my day-to-day basis, I work with professors and other doctors since I work in a hospital. And what I notice about these kind of professors who are either cardiologists or vascular surgeons or have anything to do with like the vascular part of medicine, they are extremely health conscious, probably because they see day-to-day the cases of heart attacks, of clogged arteries, of any other kind of cardiovascular problems because of bad nutrition, because of malware diet. I don't know how the fuck to say this in English, but what I want to say is basically they know what happens when people eat unhealthy or a lot of McDonald's on a day-to-day basis. And so what is highly likely about the McDonald's CEO that he has actually some kind of either eating disorder or some kind of phobia from highly processed food. So he can't even swallow a piece of highly processed food. And so this is likely because of the fact that many of the professors, especially in the medical field, are dominated by a lot of psychopaths. And to support this, the Max Planck Institute in Germany was also recently part of a big scandal because professors and doctors were treating the scientific workers that are like shit. They were like belittling them, manipulating them, almost like mentally torturing them to make more work and make productive work. And this is the reality of leadership in academia. It's horribly bad in a lot of cases. And so it's highly likely that due to this, his father was also at least have psychopathic tendencies or is a psychopath himself, which displays on the McDonald's CEO, who is obviously a psychopath, like not the antisocial lifestyle psychopath, if we go by the 4-factor psychopathy model of her, but like the pure factor 1 psychopath, so really calculated, not an antisocial psychopath, but a pure psychopath, a very calculated, very callous person, and he's more on the callous side than compared to the interpersonal side. And so, which is weird because usually if you're in the CEO position in a company, you have to have high interpersonal skills, which this guy sucks at. He's bad at lying, he's bad at acting, he's also bad at covering up lies, and he sucks at charming people. Now, if we take a look at a video of his morning routine, he even filmed his personal secretary, his personal assistant, whatever. And what he said is, how long are we working together? How long have we been working together? And the assistant, female assistant, replied 7 years. And normally, like a charismatic person, even like a charismatic psychopath, would say these were the best 7 years of my life. Like working together with you is such a good thing. No, instead the McDonald's CEO replied, "All right, 7 years. These were the best 7 years of your life. I'm pretty sure you say that." Obviously, this was to improve his PR in the public, so McDonald's gets a better view, but he completely obliterated it. This was like the most insane, deluded thing a person and a CEO can say. And now, what I want to get back at is that based on this factor, on this factor 1 psychopathy, it's probably inherited from his father, and his father also put him on a strict kind of parenting when it comes to diet. Probably also shock therapy, showing him pictures of what happens when someone eats too much McDonald's, showing him pictures of clogged arteries, telling him really shocking stories of how people got heart attacks and died in the hospital because they ate too much McDonald's, which probably resulted in a sort of phobia in the McDonald's CEO from highly processed food, which, I don't know, it's up for you to decide if it's good or bad, but usually from a bite of McDonald's, you shouldn't get any harm, right? It's the dosage that makes the poison. But if a CEO like this can't swallow a single bite, then it's highly likely this is some kind of phobia or disorder in place. And another thing that supports this whole hypothesis is the fact that his morning routine also consists of a morning jog, which is good for cardiovascular health, also probably taught to him by his father. And I personally believe him that, because out of all the information you can find about this guy, it's very clear that he is very health conscious and up to a almost sickening degree. And he takes his health very seriously, so I really buy him that he is a marathon runner and he goes for a morning jog, mainly because he wants to improve, he wants to keep his cardiovascular health fit because his father was taught him like that. Now, but the other point, this also leads to the negative point that he's probably very phobic about his food. And like, setting up this guy as a CEO was probably the stupidest decision McDonald's has ever made. Because a CEO needs to be interpersonally highly skilled, like the CEO of Burger King, for example, if you compare the videos. And also being a callous kind of person, like the McDonald's CEO is, so he has trouble displaying authentic emotion, which makes him come across as very robotic, very alien-like, very Mark Zuckerberg-like. And these are usually the more callous manifested psychopaths instead of the interpersonal manifested psychopaths, which usually operate more in the background, so as either chief technical officer, chief operational officer, not as chief executive officer, so they don't get all the attention. Also, it's quite clear that the McDonald's CEO is very money motivated, so he actually doesn't like doing these videos, but the main motivation behind all of this is to get more cash in, better reputation for McDonald's, because it brings him more money in as a CEO. So he's initially reward motivated. Now, what's the final point I want to make here? I should have a better structure when I'm talking. I'm already talking for like almost 20 minutes, but you get the point if you haven't already got tired of listening to this shit. But the thing is, key takeaways: if you become a CEO of a food company, don't have a eating disorder and learn how to act properly. Thank you for watching.